Spark Books here. Today, I'm going to explain the book, Verbal Judo, by George J. Thompson and Jerry B. Jenkins. Take care, enjoy the book, and have a nice day. Verbal Judo, 1993, is your guide to effective communication, from a police officer's perspective. These sparks explain why some common communication techniques could be holding you back and why others may be better suited to achieving your communication goals. Key idea number 1, studying and mastering challenging communication is possible. You're a new cop. You're in a dangerous Emporia, Kansas area at 2 a.m. to break up a domestic dispute. Scary, right? The author experienced this. Luckily, his partner Bruce Fair was an experienced officer. He gave the author his first verbal judo lesson. Communication is an art with no rules. The author's companion entered the yelling couple's apartment, sat on their couch, and read the newspaper. The pair glanced at him but continued arguing. Finally, Officer Fair requested their phone. The couple complied, ending their fight. From there, Officer Fair murmured something into the phone and put it down, faking anger at the 2 a.m. call refusal. He asked the couple what was wrong and urged them to stay quiet at night. It ended peacefully. The author discovered communication's ultimate power here. Learning about communication by watching cops diffuse difficult situations is ideal. It needs careful investigation. Author was initially confused. He wasn't sure what happened that night in Kansas, and when he asked his partner why he did what he did, Officer Fair said he followed his instincts. The author sought to understand such instincts because he wanted more. He observed his fellow officers' communication styles for years. This endeavor produced the author's Verbal Judo Handbook. Key idea number 2, avoid orders and condescension, and explain the rules. Has a stranger ever chastised you for jaywalking on a desolate street? If this happened to you, your verbal assailant didn't know verbal judo's basic rules. Effective communication requires avoiding instructions and contempt. In reality, police and civilians should always avoid certain terms. For instance, yelling "come here" will never help. It sounds intimidating and provides no reason to comply. Better to respectfully gain their attention and ask if you can talk. Avoid "you wouldn't understand." It's condescending and indicates the other person is foolish or inferior. It's best to warn your listener that what you're saying may be challenging. Explain that the information's intricacy, not your interlocutor's IQ, may be preventing instant comprehension. Verbal Judo also needs you to clarify the rules you're enforcing. The rules are the rules is an example of what to avoid. Any kid will tell you this justification is the most obnoxious. You should be able to describe the rules if they make sense. If you want your kids to go to bed at 7 p.m., you might just say that's the rule, or you could explain that if they don't get enough sleep, they'll be weary and unpleasant at school. Key idea number 3, communication requires knowing the other person's perspective. Are your connections ever tense? What if you had a magic wand to make all that discomfort go away? Fortunately, a magic wand exists. Without empathy, communication fails. Empathy essentially means to see through someone else's eyes. According to the author, empathy is taking another's perspective, whether it's your spouse, boss, or friend. Empathy matters in all relationships. Without it, you're just yelling. Empathy is not sympathy. To feel empathy, you merely need to understand the other person. Empathy helps you diffuse difficult situations. It could possibly save lives. The author responded to a suicide attempt one cold, windy night. He spotted a man in a bathtub threatening to electrocute himself with a heater. Most people would try to persuade the person that his life is precious and not to do it. However, this would be reasoning from a suicide denier's standpoint. Empathy-free argument. The author exaggerated how horrible electrical death is. He listed some easier suicide methods. This unconventional strategy eased stress and got the man out of the bath. Key idea number 4, paraphrasing necessitates a break. Have you ever been in a conversation with someone who keeps talking without letting you speak? How can you respectfully stop them talking? Paraphrasing is the finest method to join the discourse. First, interrupt the person. When dealing with a talkative or emotionally sensitive person, this might be difficult. However, you must muster the confidence to enter. Maintain neutrality. Avoid judgmental interruptions like furious requests to shut up or calm down. Instead, say "whoa," or "listen." Say any word in a neutral voice to pause your discussion partner. When he does, paraphrase. Paraphrasing is one of your strongest verbal judo weapons, therefore this is a tremendous chance. It's compassionate and shows that you heard and are attempting to understand. Start by asking if you understood correctly. It shows you care and listen. This makes the other person listen. You'll be in charge and can clarify the other person's message. Say your partner accuses you of usually coming home late. Ask whether she thinks you're constantly late. She'll probably acknowledge that you're late 3 evenings a week, but not every night. From there, you can explain your late nights and resolve the issue. Key idea number 5. Find your shortcomings to improve your communication. Communication can make even the hardest person joyful and submissive. You have to become a contact professional to get there. Contact professionals can perform under pressure, unlike good communicators. Example, Michael Jordan. His game improved under pressure, and your communication should be as professional. That has one solution. Identify your communication issues. These flaws are your inner foes. Take the author. His inner adversary was his hatred of individuals challenging his power. He struggled. The author occasionally arrested someone who, instead of going docilely to the police, would list all his prominent contacts, taunting the author and stating he would be released shortly. The author intended to yell, "You want to bet?" in such situations. He regularly got upset with inmates, which caused mistakes. The wanna-bet voice became his inner adversary. When it appeared, naming it helped him identify it. This helped him step back, be calm, and not react. Key idea number 6. How and what you say matter. People sometimes speak in two languages. Thus, translation in communication means choosing the correct words to say what you mean. Since imprecise language causes misunderstandings in daily discourse, this capacity is crucial. Translation conveys your exact thoughts to the other person through language. You must first know what you want to say to put it into words. You might apologize for missing your anniversary. Next, choose your words. There are a million ways to apologize, some effective, others not. After that, make your statement and evaluate its reception. Your message probably went unheard if your partner shrugs and walks away. Translating requires audience-specific language. To communicate effectively, you must customize your speech for each person. For instance, municipal police officers must use different tones for different people. You shouldn't address an elderly woman like a suburban youth. Respect everyone and speak differently with them. Parents speak differently to each child. Parents know each child is unique and responds to different communication styles. Unsurprisingly, everyone else does too. Key idea number 7. Mediation calms dangerous circumstances. Bring a child to an intersection to teach her how to cross safely. She'll see that the autos stop and go in both directions. She may not comprehend why they stop until you explain the traffic lights and that green means go and red means stop. By pointing out this fact, you help the child learn something new. Police officers need it too. Mediation can help police avoid dangerous situations. Police often encounter folks who have lost perspective. After completing his police training and working a few months, the author was summoned to deal with a bar fight. The author found the huge man in an alley wielding a broken alcohol bottle and angrily approaching him. The author stated the man's grievances and invited him to the station. The guy, much bigger than the author, didn't answer. The author mediated. He inquired about his plans. Would he cut the author with the bottle? The author then said he was merely facing a misdemeanor and 1 night in jail. If he assaulted an officer, he would face a crime. Mediation involves fact-finding. The alley man tossed away the bottle and surrendered once the author clarified the situation. Key idea number 8. Domestic arguments are unavoidable but can be productive. Every couple wants a happy, intimate existence. Reality is different. Relationships are challenging, and domestic fights happen unexpectedly. One of the author's acquaintances married a woman with 4 children from her previous marriage. He was still honeymooning 2 months into the marriage. Perfect. After a long day at work, his wife assaulted him, accusing him of purposely undermining her authority with the children every night. Like any blindsided husband, the friend felt shock, resentment, and frustration. A turbulent night began. It may have gone differently. When addressed properly, domestic arguments can be fruitful. Let's use what you learned in prior sparks to this issue. Start by saying, "Whoa, wait, I want to make sure I understand." Start by paraphrasing your spouse. In this scenario, you might ask your partner if she believes you purposely undercut her every night. This should quiet your partner's accusation and allow you to negotiate changes. Conflict like this lets your lover recognize your love and commitment. If your partner notices, you'll be reimbursed 100-fold. Verbal judo is complete now that you know how to handle personal situations. You can now gently express your authority and resolve interpersonal issues. Authority and voice don't necessitate aggression. Verbal judo improves communication. Avoid condescending, empathize, paraphrase, and mediate as needed. It also implies admitting and improving your communication flaws. After doing these things, you can speak well in any setting. To view more content like this, subscribe. Don't forget to like and turn on notifications. The channel really benefits from it. I appreciate you being here.